And after 2 weeks, we are back. Had a bit of a break last week, but we are back here at Austin, Texas, here at the Circuit of Americas for round 5 of the IFT season here in Division 1. What did we miss last time out? Let me actually bloody have a look. Can the channels load up a little bit quicker? Thank you. So, what did we miss? Well, Alpine won again last week with Blade taking the win by 9 seconds to Axel, Speed and Chow in 3rd and 4th, Fusion rounding out the top 5. So, what has that led to in terms of the driver standings? The driver standings, Speed leads the standings by 6 points to Chow, with Toby a further 8 points back, and Strike being a further 13 points back. So it's definitely all to play for still, just about halfway through the season. And in Constructors, top 3 separated by 20 points, with Aston Martin leading the way by 8 points to McLaren, and then Alpine a further 20 points back. So, we welcome you here at the Circuit Americas. We are here for round 5. It is a full qualifying. A mandatory 2-stop for tonight. No safety cars either. So there is that. So there will be no stat nav attempts of trying to cause a safety car on purpose. And then failing miserably. But yeah, you know, oh well. So, everyone is going to be sorting out their setups and shit like that. And fuel and so forth, so on and so forth. Flatbread has disconnected from the session. I should be able to get back in. Right. Who is the first one? It is one of the Aston Martins, the championship leader. It is Speed G Master here at his home race, I believe. I've still... Yeah, Speed G Master is 6 points in the lead. I believe this is his home race. Fucking talking about it being his home race. So if it isn't, then oh well. Yeah, no, it is his home race. So no pressure, Speed, as he's on his outlap, but someone is ahead of him as they have overtaken. I'm guessing it's Flappy Dragon. It is Flappy Dragon, who is the first man who will be starting their lap here tonight at COTA. So let's have a talk through the lap. Obviously I did do the 2 races, so might be a bit on the downside in terms of the knowledge of how to do the track, but bear with me for a minute. As he starts his lap, has the battery on a bit of wheel spin out the final corner, it will cost him time all the way down into turn 1. Burns about until 70% battery, hits the anchors, hits 3rd gear, it's nicely over the curb. That is full traction control, isn't it? Actually, no, it's invalidated. So we'll have a look at Speed's lap as we head down the crest and now into the S section. Left, right, keep the foot flat to the floor and then little lift through the left. Oh, is it through the left hand? Oh, out it's all flat, fair enough. And then downshift to 3rd, get the car rotated nicely onto the curb, get nice traction out of the S section. Purple first sector, he's the first man to cross the line, well, across the first sector line. And now down the back straight, DRS open, burning the battery into around 15%. Yeah, around 15%. Just before the 100 meter board, hits the anchors, 3rd gear, switch the car over to the left hand side, purple in the middle sector, got it nicely rotated, struggling for traction a little bit, but it's always a struggle for traction around here. And then switch across the left and then try and take the shortest route from the last corner to the penultimate corner. Flick the wheel in 5th gear, and we head around for the final corner, hit the apex nicely, get the car rotated, foot down, and it's a 32.103. That is the benchmark in Q1. So we'll look further behind. Liggers, sorry, we've got a fucking itch. Anyway, Liggers crosses the line 33.189. We'll see where that puts him later on. And there's an RB, but he's starting his lap, is he not? He is. So we'll look at the Hasses of Nilo coming around the final corner. He's invalidated. So when tracks go to Beetle Rain, heading around the final corner, massive snap of oversteer is a 34.416, and we'll go to Alfie in the Sauber, who's also invalidated. His time. Who else is on that? We'll go to Laser in the Ferrari. Flatbread, welcome back to the session, my friend. As we are now watching a lap with Laser around the penultimate corner. Missed the apex a little bit. Around the final corner, he's used all this deployment already. That would cost him quite a bit of time, but he goes third fastest, 33.769. And now we'll go to those behind. And Dragon will not finish his lap, so we'll go to Chow, who is actually in the third sector. So who do we go to now? We'll go to Joseph, who is going through the final sector. Quite a few people invalidating, similar to what we're seeing in what was the last track we did? I can't remember now. I can't remember. That's pretty bad. Hello, Eva. Hope you are well. As Joseph goes and sets at 33.285, goes third fastest in the RB. We'll have a look at a Sauber further back. Alfie on the medium tyre, and he heads to the pits. I'll be looking at further back if I can find him. He might be on an outlap. And McLaren behind him, both on outlap's. Alpine also on an outlap, and for some reason very close to the back of McLaren rear wing. So we'll go to Chow, who's going around the final corner. One of the championship protagonists, and he goes second fastest, 3/10 off Speed Jamaster in Q1 at the moment. Another one just crossed the line, Juice 32.806. And puts him third fastest, I believe. Yep, Pigeon goes sixth fastest, 33.502. And is he actually going around for another lap? He is, and he goes even faster, 31.962. Puts about half a second between him and Chow in Q1. That is looking very, very competitive at the moment. Obviously, it's only Q1. So we'll see how it advances as it goes on. But it's looking very good. And I believe Flatbread disconnected again. Give me a second. I think Flatbread disconnected again. Is he not on? He's not on. I just realised Bill Clamp is in and out in the Alpine. I don't think he's actually supposed to be in the Alpine. I'm like 99% sure that they've got a full-time driver today. Anyway, Fusion goes second fastest, 32.415. Dan also went 32.501 in the Ferrari, also the strike to the 32.505 in the Alpine. As we watch Ollie going around the final two corners of a bit of a lag spike there, as he heads around the final corner, puts the foot down, and where is this going to put him? 33.121 puts him 8th fastest. As we look further back, Williams into the pits, as the Haas coming around the final corner about to start his lap. Toby's in the pits at the moment. I'm pretty sure he's not meant to be now. Anyway, Fusion retires in the pit lane. He thinks that's enough, and I agree. That should be enough to get through into the next part of qualifying. And Speed and Chow, all the top three, all retire from the session. What else? So he's going to start his lap. Who's looking like there towards the end of our laps? It's really Ollie, isn't it? Yep. Is Ollie? No, he's not even on a lap. Nilo on a lap. Flicks the car in. Goes fastest out of anybody in the middle sector, Jeff. Go through the final sector. Gets it nicely hooked up. Doesn't have to push too much. It is only Q1. A lot of people have invalidated their lap times, it seems. And he's invalidated. And what did I just say, Nyla? And that just looks a little bit illegal. So about that. So there will be another driver who is supposed to be in the Alpine. But the points will get swapped. So I don't know which team Clamp is driving for. I guess we'll know by what car Jaffa is it? I guess we'll see. Anyway. Flatbread, by the way, I believe won't be joining us again. His PC or his PlayStation is a little cooked if he's overheating a bit too much. And yeah, he won't be joining us for the rest of tonight. So that is the last we'll see of him. Game is bugging there. As we see Joseph go around the final corner. And he's starting a lap, isn't he? No, he did improve. He's not gone up any positions. Toby, who has gone up a few positions, goes up to P6. McLaren looks very, very competitive today. Two drivers in the top 6. It's very possible they can get a win, so I don't think they've had a win this season. Alpine were winning 2 races. Aston Martin having won 1, I believe. And there is the extra driver who will be driving for Alpine. Ignore what it says. I will be his client's name. Remove. Right. I'll be heading around. Never mind. I've seen his time. He's not on a lap. I know there's a lot of people. 4 minutes to go. Not honestly, not a lot of time invalidated at the moment. Right, so just so everyone knows, that's in the stream, JSPR is driving for Alpine today, but because some moron picked Alpine just to confuse things, yeah, he's ended up, well, visually in the Mercedes, but yeah, he will be driving for Alpine today. Just wanted to clear that up. Anyway, Nilo invalidates again. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Nilo or either of the Hatters really. 13th and 18th at the moment. They're in danger of getting knocked out. It's not looking really ideal, to say the least, but we will see. What can Atom do? He is heading around the final sector at the moment. See what he can do. Sorry. 32419. I'm so sorry. But there's a server and he's messaging it and I'm telling him there's 2.5 minutes to go, just go out of the bloody pit lane, and he has. He's left it very bloody tight. He has about 20 seconds left on the clock. So he should get to the line in time and get through into Q2. But I was a bit nervy. As Fluffy Dragon goes 12th fastest in Q1. Toby retires from the session. 8 out of the top 10 have retired from the session thinking they're all safe. And to be honest, fair enough. A lot of people have not set a lap time because of invalidations and stuff like that here in Q1 for the most part. It's not really been the most ideal for Q1 in terms of confidence builders for most of the drivers out there. But we will see how Q2 unfolds once we get to it. And we'll have on board Formula League. Right, burns the battery. I'm guessing that'll be again down to 70% as we head down into turn 1, around about that. Hits the anchors, down to 3rd gear, hits the apex quite nicely, and gets the foot down the hill to the right hand of turn 2. Now, that is a slight lift here from Liggers. No, it is still foot flat to the floor. We switch direction to the right and left. Oh, and the rear end of the car just steps out a little bit. And what is his first sector? I don't actually know what it was. That's not a bad first sector at all. Be cutting to, actually we're cutting to no one at the moment. Pigeon on a lap. He is about 2.5 foot up. This would get him a decent away from the danger zone. I mean, majority of the bottom 5 have not set a lap time, so it looks like as long as you set a lap time, you will go through. And JSPR is invalidated. And he is out in Q1. That is suboptimal to say the least. Oh, Pigeon is half spun it. And is in pit, but he will be safely through it, and that is it for qualifying. 4 out of the bottom 5, not through. Right, that is that for Q1. So we do have a full grid tonight in the end. There we go. Someone's asking who the guy in P5 is. Right, so Speedmaster, or Speedy Master, half a second, well, almost half a second quicker than everyone else in Q1. Looking very good here tonight. We'll see how it goes in Q2. Bottom 5, 4 of the bottom 5 have not set a lap time. Beetle Rain, Beetle Clamp, Nilo, Japo, and Flatbread. All out Flatbread will not be participating anymore in today's event as we head into Q2. Right, here we are, Q2. And yeah, should be very interesting. Speed looked like the pace setter here tonight from Q1. The championship leader looking to strengthen his championship lead to the rest. We'll see if he can, if he's capable of doing it here tonight. As we wait for people to head out the pits for an outlap. Right, let's see what we can do. As people head out the pits. So we'll walk up to Joseph and his outlap and we'll see. Right. For this lap, as I'm running out of ideas and I don't want to keep talking through laps, I'll just let it play through the lap for Joseph, unless it invalidates. Alright, and Joseph goes and sets a 33.5 here in Q2, as I think Dragon got disqualification. Don't know what that was all about, but speed smashes out the park, goes 1.8 seconds faster, 31.677. Alfie goes second fastest, 32.857. And now across the line goes Strike, who goes second fastest, 32.115, about half second off speed in the Aston Martin, who's setting quite a very, very, very dangerous pace for the rest of them. And Chow is on an outlap, so we'll go to Laser. We'll go to Laser, who I think a lot of oversteering looked like in the part of the track. To go through the long right hander completely flat. Flick it in fifth gear, hits the curb, around the final corner. What can he do? Dragon joins back in. So he's invalidated. Look up to Chow. No, Chow's too far out. I'll just already set that. That is down. Not bad middle sector. What can he do as we do the middle part of the lap? Or the last part of the lap, should I say. Round the final corner. 33.091. And now Stylebert going around the final corner. Juice goes 6 fast, 33.89. And Chow is crossing the line, goes 32.450, goes third fastest. The Strike is splitting the two Alpines. Sorry, Aston Martins. So we'll see how that all feels down. So bad. Toby starts the lap going into turn 1 up the hill. I'm not fucking. I'm sorry though. I can't be asked to do comms over another lap. And it's like the only option I have. Fantastic. Alright, I can't even say it here. Here we go, Toby going around the final part of the lap as Atom just goes 4th fastest, leaves Chow down to 5th. And we'll just keep an eye on Toby, who's going around the final corner now. Look like an alright lap. What is it going to put him though? It puts him 2nd fastest. Still about 3/10 off Toby, but Fusion, he looks very quick in Q1. Can he carry on that pace into Q2? I have no idea if this is used one or not, but either way, it's a very nice lap. 2 McLarens in the top 4. Not bad stuff for the McLaren boys. Speed in retires from the session. Joseph heading down to turn 1 is one of the few drivers out there on a lap currently with about 6 minutes to go. As we head through the S section, what is his time going to be up by? He's about 0.2 of a second, which would not, it would move him up to 11th. He needs to find a little bit more time to crack into the top 10. Realistically, I think the cut-off point is probably, it's going to be a high to mid 32 realistically. So we want to find about half a second in his time. He's already found 0.2 of that. So it's definitely very possible to find the extra 4 tenths needed to get into the 32s. Whether that'll be enough is a different story on its own. He is just under 3 tenths up, so he needs to find quite a bit of time in the final sector to actually get into the top 10 as it is right now. But we'll see what he can do as he puts the power down, gets some battery on for a couple of seconds, turns it back off, keeps it in medium, flicks it in around the penultimate corner, and then we go around for the final corner in Q2. A little bit of the rear end stepping out on the final corner, and he just gets in to the top 10. Well, that's just under 5 minutes to go. That is definitely very beatable. For Dan, this is on the series, even though he is. Right, we'll do a quiet lap, but we'll watch your lap out. As we are heading around the final corner here with Dan, what can this time put him? He goes fastest, 31.587. So maybe there's a bit of competition, but we'll have to bear in mind that was definitely a new set of softs for Dan. I don't know what the rest of the top 5 are using. It could have been all used softs for the rest of them. I guess we won't know. Chow though, man, the second in the standings, in a bit of trouble here, 8 fastest. He will need to find a bit of time. It might be looking more to the mid 32s in terms of what will definitely be safe, but I guess we'll find out in the next 120 seconds, or just over 120 seconds in Q2 as we head through the S section. That Ferrari really needs, or Alpine should I say, really needs to get out of the way. He does get out of the way. Chow only 700s up after the first sector. Not optimal, it's a bit suboptimal, but it's definitely a start for him. It would move him up to 7th at the moment, but he does want to find a bit more time if he wants to start to feel comfortable with where he is at currently in terms of getting through into the top 10 shootout for qualifying. Down the back straight, hits the anchors, gets the car turned quite nicely. What's his middle sector? It is just under a 10th up, which would put him, again, still really 7th fastest at the moment. He needs to find a little bit more time to at least get close to the top 5, or maybe even get into the top 5 in Q2, and maybe feel a little bit more safe. As we head around the penultimate corner, not bad. He looks very safe. as we through the penultimate corner as we head around the final corner. It is 5th fastest, 32.222, and I guess we'll see if anyone can get close to that. Formula Liggers in 11th, 2.5 tenths up. This will at the moment be enough for him to get into the top 10 here in qualifying, as we are going through the long right-hander. At the moment, this would put him 10th fastest. If he can find a bit of time though, that would be very, very good for his hopes and chances of getting into the final stage of qualifying. Round the final corner, nicely rotated around the final corner. Where is it going to put him? It puts him 10th fastest, 32.911. It is 2 tenths above the danger zone. Can anyone beat that at the moment? Alfie 2 tenths up after the first sector. It's 4 tenths after the middle sector. This would put him, well, yeah, there's quite a big gap between 9th and 8th. This would realistically put him around 8th fastest. I must say, the gap between 9th and 8th, top 8 and 9th is quite substantial. But we'll see if that closes up in the last part of qualifying, as Alfie's heading around the final corner, locks the rears up quite badly. Round the final corner, half a second, 32.289, and he now goes into the top 6, never mind the top 8. Can anyone dislodge the Williams of the Liggers? Pigeon can't. Joseph might be able to, he's 3 tenths up. What can Surgeon do? He can't do anything, 13th fastest. Joseph, 3 tenths up around the final corner. Bit of hesitation on the throttle, but he is through. He gets through by about half a second. He gets into the top 10, and that is Q2 done. Dan tops the timing, so won't be seeing sort of potential for Grand Slam today. With Dan topping Q2, Speed second, Atom third, Toby fourth, Strike top 5th, Chow 6th, Alfie 7th, Fusion 8th, Ollie 9th, Joseph 10th, and that rounds out the top 10 with Liggers, Juice, Laser, Pigeon and Dragon getting knocked out and not having their shot in the top 10. And that is Q2. Very much a lot closer in the top. But we've got to bear in mind, use softs were occurring. Hold on. Someone told me to invite them back into the lobby. It was Flatbread. Let me just give him a cheeky invite. They should be coming back in. And he is joining here for Q3. There we go. Right, this is the one that counts for those that are aiming for the championship in both the drivers and the constructors in Div 1 and the overall constructor standings. This is the one that counts. Let's see what they can do in the next 12 minutes. Obviously, a few of them have been able to save a set of soft tyres, which is going to give them a bit of an advantage in these next 11 minutes and 45 seconds here in qualifying. Here at the Circuit of Americas, will it be the championship leader, the man that is having his home race here this Saturday evening for me at least in the UK, might be morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. You won't want to miss this. This will be 12 minutes, 11 minutes to heaven for some of these drivers. It can make or break their potential win chances, podium chances, or even championship chances, as each race means just that little bit more with only 10 rounds on the calendar. Meaning there is very, very little margin for error in every qualifying, every sprint and every race. Every point, every corner, every part of the track matters. Will they make it count? Let's find out. Ciao. The man 6 points behind in the championship. He's got it all. He's got all the work in the world to do to probably surmount that lead, even with such a small deficit with the pace that Speed is showing in Q1 and Q2. It is going to be looking very, very difficult. We could be leaving. There is a chance if these two do end up 1-2, there is a chance that we could have Chow as the championship leader, or Speed having what I thought a 13-point lead after Texas. This is a very, very crucial point in the championship. Let's see what Q3 has in store for us with just under 10 minutes to go. Here we go. Chow starting his first lap in qualifying, puts the foot down, and here we go. Quite a long climb up the hill going into turn 1. Brakes on the curb, down to third. A little bit wider than we've seen some drivers go through turn 1, but that might be a bit of a preference. Goes right tight to the inside to limit the distance between turn 1 and the S section, which is a very, very much flat from the start to about now, where there's a slight lift of the throttle and then hits the brake slightly. Does not go into third gear like Speed did earlier, so won't get as much rotation, but you probably carry a little bit more speed. But the axle will be slightly more compromised, not as on the curb as Speed was earlier. And now down the back straight, a lot of it is about the exit for that previous corner, and then just relying on your setup, whether you've got a low or high downforce setup. I guess we'll probably see the differences in the race. Hits the anchors, gets it nicely turned in, switches over to the left hand side, hits the apex nicely, wants to get the car over to the right hand side now. And then it's quite a long braking zone, and then it's quite a long time to get back on the power. And now it's the long right hand, there's not really much of a corner in these cars, it's all flat out. And then downshift to fifth, flicks the steering wheel in. Probably can push a little bit more through the penultimate corner, and around the final corner, nice and tidy. What is it going to be, a 1:31.780? We are going to have to see quicker than that to be beaten Speed or anyone else that's competing for pole here tonight. Fusion 31.959. And Alfie next across the line, he's invalidated. Here is the championship leader, the man that's setting the pace here tonight. What can he do across the line? Here's a 31.518 by Speed. What can Toby do? Can Toby dislodge him? No, he's invalidated. What can Strike do going around the penultimate corner? I believe he is a little bit up after the first 2 sectors, maybe about a tenth up, heading around the final corner. Just needs to get some nice traction. It's 0.2 of a second, but he is on the front row. What can Atom do? He's going again. I believe he may have invalidated his previous time. So what about Ollie? 1:02.0 after the first 2 sectors invalidates his time, and that is him, well, suboptimal at the moment, as he heads into pits, both RBs not being able to set their first laps. And Dan also heading into pits. He didn't think that lap will be good enough. And that is currently the first laps at the moment. Strike and Speed the front two here in qualifying. Chow in third, Fusion fourth, and sixth. Six out of the top 10 drivers haven't set a lap time at the moment. It's looking very difficult. I do say that. Atom is currently on the lap at the moment, I believe. Yes, he is. So he's heading down the back straight. What can he do after the first 2 sectors? Doesn't look too bad. I can't recall the sector times. 24.9, 36.6. It is in the ballpark from Atom. It is possible. He just needs a good final sector. Which, can he get it? Can he get the final sector that he needs to snatch pole position? Pole position? Pole position from Speed Jim Master. Round the final corner, Atom goes. What can he do? Can he snatch pole? No, it is only 32.096. Half a second off pole position. Explosive also not going to do anything. Chow is on another lap. Half a tenth down after the first sector. Speed a tenth and a half up after the middle of first sector. He is looking to extend his lead at the top of the standings and the top of the timing leaderboards as well here tonight in qualifying. But we'll cut to Chow, who's heading down the back straight. He wants to at least get onto the front row to be able to challenge on the run down into turn 1, which will be a very crucial run down into turn 1. What can Chow do up to the middle sector? He's a tenth and a half up. It would be, he was in contention, but then we will cut to Speed, and I'm guessing he's up even more on his time. A little bit, it's not a lot, it's about just over a tenth and a half, but at the moment that would be enough to keep us pole, and Chow's invalidated. So for Speed, it's just about extending his advantage out at the top of the timing as we head to the penultimate corner. Senzelin keeps it in 6th. As we saw earlier, Chow and a few other, most of the others actually keeping it in 5th. Speed doesn't, and he only improves by 6,000 seconds, so that suggests he definitely had time in his final sector. Toby heading into the pit. Atom also heading to the pit. So, it's all to play for as we head into the final 4 minutes of qualifying. So, I'm just going to fucking look at the... We're just waiting for everyone to head into the pit, so we waiting last 3.5 minutes. Alright, so Speed just heading into the pits. 3.5 minutes to go. Half the grid have not set a lap time, so half the grid is going to be under pressure. Speed at the moment looks like he has it pretty much in the bag, but I mean, up until last sector he was about a tenth and a half up, so unless anyone can find a good, just under maybe about half a second in their pocket, it does look like a little bit his to lose, but you never know. And even if he does get pole, there is that run down into turn 1, which is pretty historic at this point for lap 1. Mental incidents, crazy drama, and a lot of forcing off the track, to be quite honest with you. So here we go. Toby on his out lap. I'll start commenting once he gets actually about to start. Right, 1 minute, just under a minute and 50 seconds to go here in qualifying. McLaren looks strong, Aston Martin looks strong, Strike looks strong, Dan is top Q2 as well. Atom looks strong in parts of this qualifying. I'm pretty sure his last run was pretty good until the final sector, which I believe he lost about 4 tenths, give or take. He did lose about half a second, give or take. So I guess he has it all to work for. Here we go. Toby going down into turn 1. It is 91 seconds to heaven for these drivers. What can he do? Toby missed the apex a little bit through turn 1. It's not the complete end of the world though. If you can hook up these next set of corners nicely, just doesn't want to panic about it. Just when it results in more mistakes, a little bit of slide on the rear end of the car, 24.8, 4.6 in the first sector, that's not bad. I think we're looking very wide. He's somehow not invalidated, but that is a bit of a lap in the bin situation. But we'll carry on and then locks the rears. And it's just a lap full of errors at the moment. It's not looking great, to say the least. As we head down the back straight, hits the anchors just after the 150 metre board. Gets the car nicely turned in. And yeah, it is looking well off the pace this lap. With very much full of errors. But, I mean, a lot of people invalidate this time. So a lap full of errors is better than no lap at all. And we'll see where this lap will put him. I presume it's probably around 6th fastest, quite honestly. Unless the lap behind, unless the other laps are also quite a lot of errors with them. We will see. And he does actually go 3rd fastest, 31.745. Fair enough, I may shut up now. Alfie, I don't know how, he's locked the rears and everything. It did not look like a great lap, but fair enough. Alfie, 32.446 goes 7th fastest. And we'll go to Joseph heading around the final corner. He goes 7th fastest, 32.357. And we'll go to Fusion. What can he do? He goes onto the front row, barely misses out on pole. What can Strike do? He's 2.5 tenths up. Can he snatch pole away? He can, but Speed is on the lap. Speed is 2 tenths up. What can Danru do? Around the final corner. Can he snatch pole? No, he can't. What about Speed round the final corner? What can he do? He's on pole as it stands. Ciao. No active going around the final corner. Siri desperately trying to not invalidate this time. He goes 5th fastest. Ciao. One of the contenders for the championship. What can he do? Around the final corner, he's 7th fastest at the moment. He's only 5th fastest. And Ollie goes in 10th. And Speed is on pole position here in Texas. Right, and Speed is on pole position here for tonight's race at Texas. 3 tenths is the deficit to Strike, with Dan rounding out the top 3. Fusion in 4th. Chow, driver 2nd in the championship, is 5th. We'll be starting from 5th place. Atom in 6th. Toby 7th. Joseph 8th. Alfie 9th. And Ollie in 10th place here tonight. And that really sets up for a very, very fun race here tonight. As we line up here tonight on the grid for Texas, we know what this track can produce. We know what turn 1 at lap 1 can produce, especially with the mandatory 2-stop strategy here tonight. It looks like it is spicy. It is going to be a very spicy race. And we will see where it ends up. We all hope here that it will be a very entertaining race for you all to watch for the good reasons. Hopefully not too much drama in the wrong bad sense. We will see as we wait for the 5 red lights to get us underway for that steep incline up the hill into turn 1. Right. Right, 5 red lights here at the Circuit of Americas. It's pedal to the metal, and here we are at Texas. Top 2 look like have a fairly even start as we head down into turn 1. Dan trying to go around the outside strike, has none of it. A few bits of contact, it looks like, further back. A few ghosted cars of Alfie. And they all seem to sort themselves out pretty cleanly-ish. As we go through the first sector, a lot of cars off the track, I must say, in sector 1. But they seem to all sort themselves out-ish as we go further up the grid. The 2 RBs fighting away for track position. No, I'm not sure how happy that TP will be about them fighting this hard against each other. They don't want a DNF, obviously. That would be a bit tragic for their chances in the overalls. I mean, if there is, I haven't really looked too much at the overalls. As we head down the back straight, it is utter chaos in the midfield. It's just they want to keep it nice and clean and don't want to really get an incident that involves a collision. That goes, oh, Haas almost hits the back of the Williams, but they all seem to have come out of that lap one fairly unscathed, and they look rather okay at the moment. Further up the field though, Speed has pulled a gap, so 1.2 seconds to strike. This looks like his to lose. As Speed now 1.3 seconds, he is really pulling away here at Texas as we head up the hill into turn 1. Toby on the hard. There is a majority of the grid starting on the medium, Dragon on the soft, and Toby on the hard tyre. Fairly interesting stuff. We'll have a look at the positions gained after lap 1. It says further back, there's a bit of action here with Flatbread and Beetle Clamp, but Flatbread seems to have won that little tussle. They all just start to calm it down a little bit, and we'll start to get into a bit of a slow burn, I think is the best way of putting it. Chow in 4th at the moment. Speed 1.3 seconds now, as Jaffa actually moving up the field fairly nicely. He's now up by about 8 positions. He is from 18th to 10th. He's already in the points, the Alpine driver. It is looking very, very good for him as Nilo goes down the inside of Alfie. Gets it nicely stopped. They will keep this fighting going on and on. But it looks like they've sorted themselves out. Dan has actually overtaken Strike, I believe. I don't know how that's happened. I don't know if it was a mistake or so on and so forth. But Dan, I believe, is in DRS. He is in DRS as he goes through the final corner, gets the DRS flap open, and so does Strike. So he's not quite escaped it, but he does have more battery than Dan, so it will be a bit of a struggle for Dan to keep him there. As Flatbread and Dragon now fighting out. I say fighting out. Flatbread has just overtaken Dragon for 16th place as he makes his way through the field. His PlayStation overheating, which is why he wasn't able to partake in qualifying. And his PlayStation basically wasn't happy with him playing the game, which is a bit of an oof. But oh well. Beetle Clamp 3-second time limit driving with, I don't know who for actually. I'm guessing Mercedes. No, Sauber. Anyway. As we head down back straight, is there a change of lead? There is a change of lead. Dan takes the lead here in the Ferrari. Ferrari have won race this season. We haven't had 2 winners by constructor in Division 1 this season, apart from Alpine, who won back-to-back in Imola and then Singapore. Top 3 have all won a race in terms of the constructor winning a race in Division 1. So it's more than likely we'll get another constructor getting 2 wins this season, as Joseph gets a 3-second time penalty. As we head down into turn 1, it looks like this ain't over. Is Speed going to go for it into turn 1? No, he does not. He's just trying to keep him, let him know he's there. This is a bit of a fight further back, Nilo and Juice now. Nilo having a bit of a scrap here with the RBs. Salbers. No, he's in the pit lane. Cool. Had a bit of a scrap against the Salbers for the last points pain position. It's probably a bit of a fun scrap, but I don't know. I've not really paid too much attention. As we'll actually go further forward, as Atom's trying to go down the inside of Fusion for 5th place there, wheel to wheel. And it's a bit of a drag race. He will have the slipstream though for a second, and Fusion just has to tuck up behind him. But we'll cut to the lead now as Speed tries to go around the outside of Dan. Oh, so close to contact between the pair of them. Speed will have the inside line for the next corner. Dan tries to get the switch back, but he just ends up stuck right under Speed's gearbox. And he'll have to fight for another day further back. Fusion and Atom still fighting wheel to wheel. And Fusion wins that battle. And it goes up to 5th place. By the way, Japo from 18th to 8th in 4 laps. He is making unbelievable progress. He's already there with the leaders. He's only, 4 seconds off the lead of the race. He has made very, very good progress and almost gets into the DRS of them immediately. But we'll have to fight for another day. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously an undercut is possible. 2-stop race. I will not be surprised to see an early pit stop by at least someone in the top 8 to try and grab the lead. I think track position here will mean a lot, but you're getting through this S section of the lap, meaning you'll get quite a bit of understeer and a slow corner, and then the slow corner is struggling a little bit of traction if you get too close to the car in front. But obviously it's quite a long DRS zone down the back straight, which means you can still gain a lot of time, and it does look like Dan is getting to work on that as he has DRS, he has the slipstream, he activates the ERS, and that is a very, very easy overtake for the Ferrari. As I was behind, kind of chilling. Apart from Atom and Fusion for a minute, where they were having a nice little battle. Apart from that, they're chilling, and the 2 Salbers look like a bit of a scrap, unless they just swapped for position. I doubt it though. Especially if Juice is fighting back, trying to go around the outside. Alfie covers that off, and he can't really go through there. As B tries to dummy. Oh, Chow goes in though. Chow goes to the pit. Only lap 5. That looks very early. He's into the pit. What is it in? What is it gonna be for him? That is what I'm very interested in. Atom's had a big moment out the final corner, I think. Fusion gets the caught up in it as well, because Japo's now up to 5th. Is looking to try and get an overtake done. They're wheel to wheel down. Oh no, it's not Fusion, it's Toby. Oh, almost it takes his front wing off. Has Atom lost his front wing? It does not look like it. As Fusion had a bit of time. It looks like they've had a bit of a coming together. Oh, Atom's had a bit of a moment. They've lost the DRS, so I think actually that's more because Chow's pitted than anything. But Atom has lost a few positions here to Japu. He's having a very good recovery race. Strike though, he's clawed back in. He was about 8/10 of a second behind these two on the previous lap. Speed though, a lot closer to Dan on this next lap. Dan trying to hold the inside line as we head through the next right-hander. Speed once again will have the inside line. He's still trying to hang it around the outside. He can't get it done though. We look further back, Alfie and Joseph having a nice little ding-dong battle through the 3rd sector. Very close to contact between the pair of them. They do actually make a bit of contact, and Joseph loses a position due to it. And now it's the run down into turn 1. Oh, Speed was very, very iffy on whether to go in or not into the pit. And Jappa's, they're all going in, actually, apart from Toby and Atom, who Atom actually has to stay out because Jappa is driving with the Mercedes, even though he's technically driving for Alpine. That's screwing up a bit, but he's into the pits for the hard tyre. Held up for a second, but it shouldn't be too bad. And everyone basically went in. Dan's onto the medium tyre, so he's probably going to stop earlier. Do an early stop. Oh, Chow with the undercut! Goes round the outside of Dan and takes second place off the, or will be second place off the Ferrari. And all of a sudden, the two championship protagonists, well, at least the top two in the championship, are out in front. And right next to each other again. This is probably Chow's best chance to get an overtake and to take the lead, or will be, and eventually the lead of this race. But he is a long way back from speed down as we head to the next straight. Yeah, and they both are using a bit of battery. Chow will have the DRS, and he's still burning. He knows this is his best chance to take the lead here. On lap 7, round the outside he goes. Dan is trying to make an opportunistic move. Can Chow go round the outside? There's the inside of the next corner, but speed cuts that off. Dan's now trying to fight around the outside of Chow, as he now has the inside line for the next corner, which is very crucial for him. And he will take that position, and he has what will be second place back on lap 8. And it's a resume between these two again. Flatbread into the pits, Ollie into the pits also, and I believe that's Laser also just in front of them, getting out of the way. That's some traffic out of the way as they head into the pits, as we now head on to lap 8 for these lot at least. It's kind of yellow flag, so there's no risk of a safety car because that is disabled, which honestly I'm quite thankful for, because we don't get any bullshit of people trying to cause safety car on purpose. But there we go. And Dan gets the 3 seconds from what I just cut that. Cut to that. He does just cut it a bit too much, and that's a boom. That is a 3-second time penalty for him. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Track limit is a part of the game. You got to stick to them, otherwise the consequences can be significant. But at the moment, on track, he takes the lead here on lap 8, at least what will be the lead once everyone gets into the pits. Right, what's the game plan from here? Everyone's boxed really on the same lap-ish. So there's no tyre advantage here, I just want to say. We're absolutely no tyre advantage for it, all these lot. Chow has got the undercut. It is currently an Aston Martin 2-3. Well, what will be a 1-2 really, because Dan has a 3-second time penalty. So what's the game plan here? Is there going to be another undercut from someone in like 10 so laps time? What's the game plan? Realistically, I'd be surprised if they all done the same and boxed on the same lap. That just shouldn't be allowed to happen if that does. And if it does, then oh well, it is what it is. But I guess we'll see as speed gets a bit of lag. And Strike gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I would say that's detrimental, but with 20 laps to go, wouldn't be surprised to see more. As long as he doesn't get too many, it might not be the complete end of the world, but it's not great at the moment, as that is basically killed his podium chances, in all honesty, and that has made it a definite Aston Martin 1-2, unless Fusion can do something about it behind them, unless then another undercut comes from the guys behind the two Aston Martins. At the moment, Dan technically will be doing the undercut, actually, I say this, because he is on the mediums at the moment, so he will have to box earlier than those on the hard, so he will get, well, he will box the earlier, theoretically, than those behind, as he will go on to the hard. And Toby and Adam well, Toby at least, into the pits for what will be either a second set. It's actually a set of mediums. I was going to say a second set of hards or another set of mediums. It turns out to be the set of mediums that he's come onto. Liggers and Atom both stay out. And there we go. As we head down into turn 1. I want to top 2 know it's a 2-stop race. As we go through the first sector of the back-to-back. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it did say mandatory 2-stop, cool. Just want to check. As we look further back, not much going on. I will say Toby, not in a terrible position. He's only 2 seconds behind everyone who's boxed about 3 or so laps ago onto a set of hards. He's not in a bad position as Toby on lap 10. Admittedly though, slight problem is that there's quite a lot of cars to get through. And you could argue the only reason why they're losing time is because they're all stuck in traffic. Right behind Formula Liggers, who is heading on to lap 11 of the American Grand Prix. And he heads to the inside, fairly easy overtake. He won't be fighting that, and he won't be fighting Liggers' speed, either. As we go down into turn 1, fairly easy overtake. They're not really in the same race at all. As Fusion, oh my word, Fusion almost has a big snap. Well, he did have a big snap overtake, but almost lost him. Almost lost him the whole race, really, as they almost made contact. But they're all safe and going as Japo now makes it to what will be the podium places. Once you take in the count 3 seconds, you would think there would be a change of position here in McLaren. They would want to swap, with Toby being on the better tyre. As Chow now makes a gain on Liggers, and Strike also will want to make a bit of a gain as we head down the straight. Not really much point in fighting this as it hurts his race really, and there is a swap up down at McLaren as now Strike goes through, and then I'm guessing Japo will also try and go around the outside. Very nice move, gets the traction down, and obviously has fresher tyres and gets that done nicely. As we now getting closer to lap 12. Atom still stays out on the medium tyre. I don't think he knows it's a mandatory 2-stop. Even though they've said in the announcements it's a mandatory 2-stop, I don't think they've realised it's a mandatory 2-stop. As Toby now takes the place of Liggers, I don't think they've actually realised. We're going to get to the disqualifications, aren't we? I guess we'll see. Speed will rain the tyres in the pits. Wouldn't be totally surprised if there was a swap of position down at Alpine between Japo and Strike, because I think Japo has looked the faster, and he doesn't have the 3 seconds. I think it'd be better to let him go, maybe. Well, maybe not let him go. Maybe not lift off throttle, because there's a bit of a Toby situation right behind him. But we move. As we go down back straight, Nilo looks to the inside, can't do anything about Fusion there. As Beetlerain has left the session. We now head around the final sector. Not really, oh, I say that. I was going to say not really much change position. Nilo and Fusion having a little bit of a battle for 8th. And Fusion not really making my prediction of him to take my bold prediction, I guess you say. I literally said straight, it was a bold prediction. That Fusion could win the race, but it's not looking good, bro. I will be completely real here. As we go into turn 1, Nilo takes the position off Fusion and he goes up into 8th place. I'm very surprised not swapped down at Alpine. I'm being deadly honest. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised not swapped down at Alpine in terms of. Right, I was very close to down into Power. I saw the gap being about 10%. He could have very easily. I have to let him go in that sense, but I don't know. As we head down the back straight. Yeah, he is letting him go now. As they now switch positions, but he does want to be very careful that he does not leave himself vulnerable to Toby. Head down the straight. He breaks a bit deep. You're probably better to just defend the inside, but it's okay. He gets through, and it's all safe and dandy. But he does leave himself very vulnerable for the left-hander. You don't want to be leaving the door open for Toby. That's very risky, though. I must say, they make contact. And this is probably benefiting off the contact. There's more contact. They both go off the track. And Nilo goes through to take 6th place. It was a bit ambitious. First thoughts, it was a bit ambitious. That's just my first thought, so maybe if I watch back I think otherwise. But there we go. But there goes Shrike down to 7th. Japo in 4th. Has the top 3 all in sights? Well, technically what will be the top 2, as Dan, obviously, has got the 3 seconds. We will see how that turns out for this race. This is going to be a blockbuster. Last 15 laps. Strapping for this one. As we approach now what is the back straight. Hit the anchors for the 100-meter board. And then put the foot down on the throttle, burn the battery, and well, burn how much battery you can take down the straight, and they all are burning a little bit. Not a lot though. Toby goes up to 5th place. Oh, they're really trying to sort each other out, or sort themselves out. Jampo trying to get Shower to just compromise his line, go a bit defensive. Is he going to go for a lunge? No, he's probably best not to. So we now go through the long right-hander, flick the wheel in, around the penultimate corner, and then around the final corner. As we head into turn 1, Fusion now has the track limit penalty. Dan, as predicted, goes into pits. That is very early though. He's retired. I guess he couldn't finish the race. My guess is that he didn't have enough time to finish, but on that, fuck knows. As we head on to lap 15 then, I guess. That's down out for contention. Oh well. Not entirely what I had in mind, but fair enough. So, it is the top 2 in the championship that could be battling out here in front for for the win here in Texas. I say that. Speed has he's been absolutely unleashed and has pulled about 8 tenths and almost got the second out. Almost pulled about a second, but the DRS will come to the rescue for Chow, and it will keep Jappa behind for at least one more corner. And that's probably a better benefit for us than mine, to be honest, more than anything, because Jappa looks very quick at the moment. What does everyone else do behind though? What is the game plan? Is an undercut going to be possible for those behind? Especially for Toby. It's so hard to probably get into the end from now, but it is quite early after just a 5-lap stint on the medium. I guess we will see. We head around the final corner and we head down into turn 1, It's a bit of a slow burner for a little bit now as the tyres kind of... Oh, Nilo! Almost hits the back of Toby. That is fucking a massive escape. Very lucky to escape there. That could have been detrimental. As Laser goes into pits, Laser carries on. Right, on lap 16. Is any changes in position going to be made? It looks like for the lead there is a chance. But they don't really fight each other. Atom, though, goes through for 8. He makes up a position. Genuinely don't know if he realises there were 2 stop race. It's mandatory. Because he's only done one pit stop. That's a bit awkward, so. Oh, Speed heads into pits very early. Oh, well, I say very early. He gets 3 seconds for... Oh, Japo gets 3 seconds for multiple warnings. So that could be him out of contention. I will see. Strikes in. Fusion's in. That could be very early. But that would get him to the end. That would be a 10 lap stint. So to the end of the race. Oh, wait, he's on hard. Oh, right, he started mediums, didn't he? I think he did. No, he didn't. No, he did. Sorry. Fucking brain. They all did start. They practically all started on mediums. Oh well. There we go. It's very safe to say that I think it is genuinely between the top 2, but Speed with that undercut, as he has priority because he is leading the race, it looks a bit done and dusted, to be honest with you. But we'll see. As we head down the back straight, Jappa going to go for anything? He can't, he's too far back. And that's basically that done. And we'll just have to wait for everyone to head into the pits before really we can see what the situation is. Of a 3-second penalty is going to hurt quite a lot of drivers at the moment. Right, Japo in the pits, Toby in the pits, Chow also in the pits, and Nilo carries on those hard tyres. Where will this put him? Let's find out. On hards, Japo on the mediums as well. He only had the 1 set of hards, he had 2 sets of mediums. Where does this put him? Speed obviously gets an undercut. And it's kind of put them where they are, but Speed is a bit more down the road now by about 1.5 seconds. Now the hammer needs to get put down for Toby, Japo and Chow. 2.5 seconds actually up the road. It is very much Speed to lose, but it can be very easily lost from this position. We will see though how it ends up. With Fusion now also getting an, I believe that's another 3-second time penalty. He has 6 seconds, yeah. That is any chance of him getting on the podium, pretty much a game over, game, set, match. Japo, if he wants to get the benefits of these mediums, he needs to get Chow out of the way and he's getting to work on it. He takes 6th place, what will be 2nd on track, but he has that 3-second time penalty. He really needs to hope that those behind does get 3 seconds. Or he can just outpace them outright. Either would work for him, really. And yeah, Formula Ligas does make his 2nd stop onto a medium set of tyres that will take him to the end of the race. And Nilo also makes his 2nd stop, so that will take him to the end of the race. There we go. Atom is yet to make his second stop. We're taken to the end, so we'll see where that, how that pans out. Nilo in the pits. He's onto a set of mediums. That puts him behind Japo. Chow. Will it behind Strike? It's a bit of a drag race down to turn 1. What will happen here? Can Strike get the traction? Nilo doesn't really get great traction, but it's good enough. Keep him ahead. Japo now gaining on flatbread. All the while, he's got to get this done very quickly. And more ideally, it'd probably be with DRS, but wouldn't be surprised if we try to send, but no, he does not. But he gets a DRS, and it will be easy. He will be able to clear the Williams fairly easily with DRS. And actually, with Chow getting the slipstream, he might get the double pass. He does get the double pass, but Japo is going to try and fight that back as he goes to the inside, very close between the pair of them. And Japo tries to get the switch, but it's so close between the pair of them. Through the long left-hander. Oh, that is so close between the pair of them. Not through the long right-hander, surely. As he tries to, he just has to sit back behind the Aston Martin. So close between the pair of them, but oh, well and good. Very fair racing. It must be said, that was beautiful stuff. But Japo will get back past with Chow setting the fastest lap of the race. Japo gets back past, back up into what will be second place on track. But McLaren at the moment will have a driver on the podium. Nilo will sit in 4th at the moment with the 3-second time pace. Obviously, there's time for a bit more action. Maybe another 3 seconds. We will see. It's looking like a bit of a showdown though. Maybe not for speed though. He's a bit gone. He's into the sunset a little bit. I'm sorry. We head into the hairpin. Japan needs to pull about 3 seconds in 8 laps. Easier said than done. Oh, a bit of a battle here between Fusion and Strike though. Down the back straight. Fusion goes down the inside. There, wheel to wheel. Can Fusion get that slowed down? That's a very nice move. He does. Strike still there. Has the inside line for next corner. Nilo gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, so close between Strike and Fusion. Somehow they don't make contact. Strike trying to hang it round the outside. Maybe get a bit of speed, a bit of momentum, but it's to no avail. Also, the two Saubers fighting again for 9th and 10th position at the moment. But Juice holds into 9th place. And Japo, almost out of Chow's DRS. I think he just got the fastest lap of the race. If I just want to cut to it. He did for a second and then Nilo got it there. I think Japo did take about half a second, but the speed does have 2.6. So it would take a monumental effort to mount a challenge to the championship leader. As Fusion and Strike battling it out for 7th and 8th. A bit of a no man's land. They're kind of nowhere near the top 6. Or what will be the top 5 once Atom goes in for a second stop. If he does, if he remembers that factor. As we'll see. Head down the back straight another time. Strike with DRS. With slipstream of burns the DRS, that is a very, very easy move. I will say 2.2, he has pulled out another half a second out of Speed's time. This ain't over by a long shot. Half a second again he's pulled out on Speed's time. He is pulling Chow along as well. Like Chow is staying there or thereabouts. The gap's about 7.5 tenths of a second. This ain't over by a absolute long shot. But we'll have to wait and see come the checkered flag in about 7 laps time as we head around the final corner. I don't know what happened down there. I guess he has lower, he must have quite a bit of lower wings. It looked like it was a decent amount that got taken out down the straight, and it does look like, yeah, he probably has lower wings. he does take out a bit of time, quite a decent chunk down the straight, and seems to maintain quite a lot of speed in the corners. And look further back, strike confusion. They just haven't had the pace to the top 5. What will be again? What will be the top 5 today? Bit of a shame. It looks very promising, especially for Strike, who started on the front row. Hasn't had the race pace to keep up, and it's good to race just a bit unfolded for him. And Fusion as well, with 6 seconds as well, he's basically out of the race with that factor alone. But we'll never know. You never know. That might be a bit of chaos. Japo struggles for traction out the long left-hander. He has quite low wings. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world for Chow to take the position of Japo with, I'm guessing what is higher wings, but again, pace ain't brilliant. Strike and Fusion still fighting over what will be 6th place. They're having their own little scrap. And Nilo trying to get past Japo to go through the long right-hander. Very close between the pair of them. This is very ambitious. Yeah, no, it's never ever really gonna work out. He's still trying down turn 1, but he's too far back. And we wait for another lap. I'm pretty sure. Just gonna check. Yeah, only a 1 stop for Aston. He does need to bomb again. He holds up speed and boxes on like the final lap or something. That would be a bit comical, to be honest with you. Go to the back straight once more. Is any position going to change? Maybe between these two again. Bit of a DRS swap. And yep, I mean, he's going to do absolutely nothing for the race. They're in an absolute no man's land at the moment. And we carry on. Chow has pulled out a couple of tenths. Oh, and they're still fine, actually. Oh, yikes. Don't really know what happened there. It looked like they just caught on each other's tyre. They don't want to fight too much. Especially with Fusion having 6 seconds. That is losing a lot of time. He's now only 1.6 seconds away from losing another position to Juice, and it would end up finishing in 9th place, which wouldn't be great, to say the least. As it stands, it would be Speed winning a race, Chow in 2nd, and Toby on the podium. Top 3 of the standings, and the drivers at least, would be all on the podium at the moment. It is a little bit of a slow burn, if I'm being honest. You can see Speed's a little, not too far down the road, but in reality, that is a decent chunk down the road. Being about 2.5, well, just over 2 seconds. In fact, he's just taken 4 tenths out of Speed on this lap. So things could get interesting. I mean, I doubt it, but things could get interesting. Okay, I never usually do this, but I quite frankly there's nothing going on. Chow has had 1 warning, Toby has had one warning, and Speed has had one warning. Well, there's that out the window. There's the hope of that drama out the window. Anyway, Chow with the 1.9 seconds. To Speed. I mean, it's definitely surmountable by 2 going to take an effort. Even he would be able, even a driver up with his standards, I don't think it's going to be surmountable unless that big error gets made, and it looks like one did just get made. 1.7 seconds, 3/10. It is not over yet. I take it all back. It is not over by an absolute long shot. As Toby now putting Nilo under pressure to get that 5th place on track at least. 1.6 seconds. Could Speed be feeling the pressure a little bit? 1.6 seconds. He's just taken out about 3/10 out of advantage on the previous lap. With Japo still there also. Oh, I've just realised though, he's on a fucking... Yeah. Oh, he's 1-1. Wait, 6. Big off. Pigeon into the pit. Well, not really into the pit, he just retires in second. But yeah, anyway. 1.9 between what will end up being the top 2. I don't know why Atom is still out, not boxed for a second time, even though it's mandatory. 2 stop. Seconds now. It just pulled about 4/10 on that last sector or so. That was huge. That was bloody crucial to say the least. 1.8 seconds. With Fusion and Strike fighting more, even more so further back. .8 seconds. A Speed catching Atom might not be an amazing thing at the moment, with him going to be getting dirty air. I don't know. We'll see. 1.6 to between the top. What will be the top 2? Toby still trying to do something about Chow, who is in 2nd place. 1.5 between Chow and Speed. It is getting closer all the time as we are closing in to the penultimate lap of the race. It is not over, not by a long shot. As we go through the final sector on lap 26. Speed is definitely, they're all pretty much feeling the pressure probably, especially Speed, a home race, a very good chance to extend his championship lead as we head on to the penultimate lap of this race. 1.6 seconds between the top 2. We ignore Atom, he's not done a pit stop. He's not done his 2nd pit stop, which means he will be disqualified if he does not do it on this lap. As we head through the S section for the 2nd to last time in this race. Every bit counts, he cannot make a mistake now. Even if that means losing a little bit of time, he does not want to make a monumental error now. As he just has a little bit of oversteer out of the exit of the S section. It just makes him lose a little bit more time to Chow, who has more battery. If he gets into that DRS, it is gonna be a bit of a struggle. Japo, with the tyres falling off, is now feeling the effects and is struggling to keep in that DRS. Oh, Chow locks his rears up a little bit. Not too bad though, it's 1.2 still. As we're closing in onto the final lap of this race. He just had a bit of a rear locking and that might have cost him. That seems to have cost him about 2/10 or so. And it looks like it's gonna prove crucial. With Atom getting 3 seconds, it doesn't matter, he's disqualified, he's not coming to pits again. Which means that is that's him disqualified basically. So it is between the 2 Aston Martins for the race win. What I will say is this could be a little bit controversial because Atom might give Speed a bit of DRS, which might help him get away a little bit. 1.1 seconds between Atom and Speed. This actually is very crucial because this could be very controversial if this does actually end up benefiting him, and it does look like it could. He doesn't. Oh, Atom with a snapper oversteer. This could be very, very dodgy if he does try and fight this Atom, because he does not. I repeat, he does not. He's not done a second pit stop. This is very, very dodgy territory we're entering now, with Atom not making a pit stop. I'm presuming he doesn't really know. So is he going to fight this? As we head down into the... He is going to fight this. He's going to try and hang it round the outside. Is he going to get it done? Is he going to dive out the inside the next corner? Oh my word, they were so close to contact. As we head into the next left-hander, he does not send it. He does not do anything too outrageous. Japper and Nilo are fighting further back as he goes through the long right-hander. Nilo trying to sneak through. I don't know if there was a little bit of contact made. It did look like there was a bit of contact. That might be a penalty for Nilo. I don't know. But around the final corner, Speed wins in the Circuit of Americas. He takes the win, and he extends his championship lead to 13 points with Chow in second place, Toby in third, Atom fourth, disqualified, Japo in fourth, Nilo fifth, Fusion eighth, Strike seventh, Juice what will be eighth, not actually, never mind, take that back immediately, Alfie in ninth, Juice in 10th, Flatbread 11th, Leggers in 12th, Ollie 13th, and Laser in 14th. But it is Speed, the championship leader, makes a huge step forwards if he wants to win the championship this season. That is a huge step. Win at his home race, almost double his championship lead he had going into this race. That could prove crucial. A bit of a, I'll be honest, a little bit of a slow burner. I am going to be absolutely honest. Was probably not the most entertaining race. Not a lot happened, despite what the position game suggests. Not a lot happened for a lot of that race. But it was definitely a crucial race in the championship for a lot of them. Anyway, Speed takes the win here. It's an Aston Martin 1-2. They extend their lead in the constructors with Toby in third, Atom disqualified, Japper in fourth, Nilo fifth, Strike in sixth, Fusion seventh, Alfie in eighth, Juice ninth, and Flatbread in 10th. I know, but I'm counting out Atom because he's disqualified. They round out the top 10 with Liggers in 11th, Ollie in 12th, Laser in 13th, and then Pigeon, Dan, Joseph, Beetle Rain, Clamp, and Dragon all DNFing from the session. So we will be back. I will be back for the Spanish Grand Prix. I will be back for the Spanish Grand Prix for commentary, where we have now reached the second half of the season. We have got 5 races to go between 2 drivers who I believe both of them have not won the championship yet. We've got 5 races to go for these two to make their name as the season 10 drivers champion in IFT. Hope that was a decent race. It did look a bit of a slow burner, but we got there in the end. Hope you all have a magnificent evening, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And adios.